I've been told that you have problems with some of the kids in your class. Which one?
David Branson, Zach Smith, and Alex Lowe.
Alex Lowe? But he was a great kid.
He isn't any longer. He's caused me a lot of problems this year. I don't know how to control them. They're rude, and they answer me back. They're driving me mad, and sometimes I would like to...
I know what you mean. You know, when I was a kid, and if we behaved badly, the teacher, even just for talking in class, she would whack our palms with a ruler as hard as she could. It's not education. I used to have nightmares over that ruler.
Well, we've clearly gone to the other extreme. Our hands are tied. We've lost authority, and it's difficult to punish them.
The kids have all the rights without any duties, and they know their rights. Last year, a 6-year-old brat came up to me and said, "Hit me," and I tell the police.
But why do they have these rights? We only have ourselves to blame.
I'll tell you, I'm burnt out. Kids are more and more violent every year. They fight us for everything. They insult each other.
But then, maybe what you're perceiving as violence is really just a kid trying to assert himself. I mean, kids have to learn how to stand up to others and defend themselves. It's survival of the fittest. We live in a violent society that's becoming more immune to violence, and nothing's going to change that. So we have a passive child who doesn't react to the bullying, and he can end up with such pent-up frustrations that he just explodes. We see that in the news all the time. You know, the little quiet, sweet little man who suddenly takes a machine gun and empties it into a room full of people. Who's the bully now? But then, I think if we as teachers can challenge these aggressions and help them to do this, then we build their character, and then violence is healthy.
Do you really think that healthy violence exists? Next, you're saying that it's good the kids are violent.
I didn't say that.
What do we expect from them? Children imitate everything they see, and we certainly don't give them good examples. They sell a video game now. The star is a bully. He's 15 years old, and his mother has sent him to boarding school. After he's been expelled from several other schools. The kids there are a delightful gang of cherubs, and they make his life impossible, so he has to fight back. It's a very violent game, you know, and the characters use anything from baseball bats to bags of marbles.
But what about paintball? It's a game we all love to play, right? Does anyone even notice that it's really violent? I'm sure it's just paint, but the idea is still to kill. And we take it for granted because we think it's just another way of letting off steam. And now kids have gotten into it. And nobody cares, nobody stops them, nobody even is aware of the implications. I mean, this is a game that encourages bullying. So what if we adults turn it around? We supervise it, make it educational. We can use it to teach kids that bullying can be humiliating.
Well, the problem is that parents don't control these kids. They don't control them. I mean, either they don't have time to, or they don't know how. They get home from work exhausted, and it's the easiest thing is to turn on the TV or the video game console, just to keep them quiet. I mean, what do you expect from children after them being alone most of the day. And after we overload them with presents to try to buy their love and to make up for the time we don't spend with them, you know, after we overindulge them, after we spoil them and overprotect them, you know, and I tell you what, you know, those games that they play, those games have no educational value without supervision from parents. And that they, even though they sell them to the over 16s, we know, and everybody knows, that it's the younger brothers who are going to play with them. You know, our children are victims of a double moral standard, fed by a consumer society which doesn't give a damn.
And think of the peer pressure they're under. But you know, I've been spending a lot of time with the parents. And I think they're genuinely trying to make an effort to spend more time with their kids. I mean, my parents, they just left me with my grandmother most of the time.
Yes, perhaps. Perhaps they're spending more time together on vacations and on weekends, you know. But it's a terrible lack of communication. I mean, what do we talk to our children about? Huh? What do we talk to them about? We should be awakening them this whole sense of life, you know, and interest in life. We should be teaching them to helping them to learn about themselves and explore their skills. We should be helping them with themselves self-esteem, so that they don't have to depend upon imitating something else or looking for something else outside of what's really in themselves. I think young people need to be giving a sense that their life has meaning, that their existence has meaning. And do we do that? No, we don't. You know, most times what happens is that our parents are more interested in whether they're going to pay their mortgage or whether they're going to buy a new car or every few years. You know, we switch our allegiance from religion to that of worshiping money. You know, and I believe that parents really don't have a clue as to what values they want to impart on their kids. They don't. And so will they leave it up to who? Us, the school.